In this video, I want to show you something that I'm really excited for that's been a recent add to Cinch. For all of you e-commerce customers, this is a great tool to win back customers. So we now have available an abandoned cart feature. So if we go in, we're going to build a journey. And I could take this abandoned cart node. So this will now trigger off of any customer that has added something to their cart and then has left the website. Obviously, the customer has to be logged in because we have to know who they are. But it works like any other abandoned cart feature if you've used those in the past. The thing about our abandoned cart is, so we have a 2-hour window, so that abandoned cart will then trigger and go 2 hours after the customers left their cart. So if they make a purchase during that time, they'll get kicked out of that journey. And if you want to be doubly sure to make sure that they haven't made that purchase, you can add other things. If you want to go longer than 2 hours before your first email, you certainly can do that as well. So let's walk through and let's set up a standard abandoned cart functionality here. So we're going to call this journey abandoned cart. We've dragged in our abandoned cart node. We're ready to go. So maybe I want to wait 4 hours before I execute my first message. So I'm just going to add 2 hours to this. So 2 hours plus the standard 2 hours that's built into the abandoned cart node gives me 4 hours. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make sure that this customer has not had a transaction within that 4 hours yet. So we're going to check and say, okay, have they had a transaction? And then if not, we're going to send out our first email. And so now I've got email number 1 ready to go. I'll build out that email. Hey, you forgot something. You left something in your cart. Check back in. I'll use the link right back to the cart page on my website and bring them right back to show them what they've left there. Then I'm going to say, okay, now let's wait again. So on any email, I'm going to wait now. But this time I'm going to wait. I'm going to give them a day. But I want to go ahead and send that during hours that I think they're going to be checking email. So I'm not going to send it in the middle of the night. So we're going to go ahead and send it between 8 and 7 on really any day of the week. So I can set those parameters there. And then again, I'm going to check and see have they had a transaction, right? Because I don't want to send them a cart notification if they've actually bought their stuff. So I always want to use this has transaction just to make sure that I filter out anybody that has already purchased. Then I'm not doing marketing waste in the sense of irritating my customer and saying, hey, come buy your stuff, even though they've already bought it. So I always want to make sure that I check that transaction. And then we're going to go ahead and send out the second email. And say, no, they have not had a transaction. And then we'll send out email number 2. And then we're going to wait and give them another chance. We'll wait 3 days this time. And maybe I'll just leave this one wide open because I already specified business hours on that last one. So we'll leave that open. And then we'll send our third email and say, hey, last chance. Come back, get your stuff. Don't delay, whatever. So that's a simple abandoned cart feature. All starts with that abandoned cart node and then walks them through this process. If I wanted to and be a little more detailed on this, right, I could say, okay, well, I also want to send a text message within that first 2 hours. And I could send them a text message and say, hey, you forgot something. So if the customer supplied me with their phone number, I can go ahead and send that text message. Now with Shopify, a lot of people don't need to even have an email to register. They can register with a phone number on your store. So that may be a great feature as well to be able to send out that text message. So, and maybe if I go down the line and it's like they still haven't bought, I may want to say, okay, this is a really loyal customer, so I could go ahead and I could throw in a check data field. And I could put in customer value segment is lesser equal to 2. So I'm hitting my top 2 customers, my 1s and my 2s. And then I can say, okay, let's put in another time delay. We're going to say yes. This time I'm going to wait maybe another 4 days. And then I'm going to check again for that transaction. And if they haven't had a transaction, then I'm going to send them out a postcard. So that way now I can hit that customer with multiple communications, or if I wanted to, instead of sending a postcard or in addition to sending that postcard, maybe I want to send them to a Facebook audience. So I can target them specifically through Facebook advertising now. A number of ways to communicate with my customers, all within that abandoned cart journey. Instead of just having a standard email flow, I can start to use multiple communications to be able to talk to that customer. So there you go. You just plug in the templates here, and you would be all set, ready to go. So enjoy that. Win back your customers. Increase those revenues. Increase those average order values. We see a ton of success with abandoned carts. Use that, leverage it, and make more money. Enjoy.